Hi guys and welcome to Horologique. As you know, Saint Martin is one of the best brands out of China that offers the best and most consistent quality, even though they have been making some mistakes recently. We'll talk about that later. But in any case, it is undeniable to agree that Saint Martin have given us a lot of watches in the last 2 to 3 years, most of which have been amazing. That's why it's so hard to pick the best among them, but I believe that it might help for people who can just afford 1 or 2 watches or just want to buy 1 or 2 watches from that brand. So what I have decided to do is to make a top 3 Saint Martin watches. It was pretty hard to make. Saint Martin make mostly homage designs, but you must know that they make designs of their own as well, most of which are not too attractive, at least to my eye, but you can go and check them out. Some are pretty nice actually. Okay, so let's go. At number 3, you've got a very recent release, one that I reviewed lately, and this is the 62 Mas Homage, the Seiko 62 Mas Homage. This watch that I am wearing right now is great. It is wonderful, perfectly finished, with an amazing lume. The most striking feature of this watch is this amazing charcoal dial that plays with light ever so softly. And that is not, of course, thanks to Saint Martin, but to Seiko, which came with the original design. At 41 millimeters across and just under 14 millimeters in height, it will suit almost any wrist, and it does so while appearing really elegant. The usual quality of Saint Martin watches is here, with amazing finishing of the indices of the hands, the brushing, the polishing of the case is perfect. The rotating bezel is firm and has no play. Everything is wonderfully well done, up to that domed sapphire crystal with that beautiful distortion in there. A top-notch watch. It doesn't make it to number 2 or number 1 just because of a few flaws, especially one big flaw that we will be checking on the full review of this watch that is coming really soon. At number 2, you've got one of my favorite watches, original, homage, non-homage. And if it weren't for one little aspect, I would put it on top, and that is the vintage diver. And this watch is based on the Rolex 6538, which was the original Rolex James Bond, the one that Sean Connery wore. And this watch is just wonderful. At 38 millimeters in diameter and under 13 millimeters in height, it will wear in literally mostly any wrist. The main flaw of this watch will be that bracelet. Even though it is very well made, as usual with Saint Martins, stylistically those rivets, I don't think they match too well. But that is easily fixed. If you put a NATO strap, you can of course put the Bond NATO strap. It wears wonderfully on it. I put it on an olive green strap and it's just beautiful. That watch, guys, I think it is one of the most beautiful watches that I have, and as I have said before, one of my favorite watches. Because of the quality, because of the wearability, because of the fact that it is a homage, but it's not a pure homage, I believe that it is my favorite Saint Martin watch. And now let's go to the number 1 spot, the one that for me is the best Saint Martin watch. And of course, some of you might have already guessed, but it's going to be the Submariner Homage. And it's going to be the V2 or the V3. In my opinion, this watch is slightly better than the vintage sub because it offers the best bang for buck. It is not the most beautiful, as I have said, that for me is the vintage sub, but it is much cheaper than the vintage sub, coming only at 175, at most 180 euros. It will depend on currency fluctuation. But at that price, you are getting such a good, such a well-built watch. It's amazing. And I'm putting this one at number 1 as well, maybe because it was the watch that surprised me the most. My channel is 2.5 years old, and for 1.5 years, I focused on middle to high-end watches. If you look at my previous videos, you will see videos of mid-end Seikos, of Rolexes even. You'll still see some of those on my channel, of course. Then I discovered these watches that came out of China, and they were okay. I had some Pagani designs. I had the Heimdallr as well. But when the Sub Homage arrived, I was speechless. I could not believe that they could provide such quality at such a low price. And the good thing is that Saint Martin have been making other models that they have priced higher, but this model they have been lowering it a bit. It was, I think, a little over 200 when I bought this watch almost a year ago, and it has been going down to 175 euros. For that kind of money, for that quality, for the components that you've got in this watch, I think it's an amazing bang per buck. So there you go, guys. Please let me know what would be your 3 favorite Saint Martin watches. If I did not include your favorite Saint Martin, I am really sorry. As honorable mentions, we can include the Saint Martin Willard Homage, which was an amazing watch as well. That would be on a top 5, and so many others that I have not even seen. So we'll just wait, we'll see what Saint Martin has in stock for us. As I mentioned in the beginning, they have released a few watches that have not been to my liking. You might be amazed not to see the Black Bay Homage, and that is because of an issue with the movement. The PT5000, which I liked at the beginning, I have seen a few problems with this movement lately, and this is the reason why the Black Bay 58 did not make it here. And of course, as usual, I have left links to all these watches in the description below. So that's it for the top 3. Tell me what you guys think. What would be your top 3? Feel free to disagree with me completely. In the meantime, I hope you're doing wonderfully, and I'll be seeing you in the next video very soon. Take care.